Hello everyone, welcome back to YK Reviews. Welcome back to another weekly entertainment news video as we're taking a break from the Saw reviews. Last week we had some slim pickings when it comes to news, but this week so much to talk about. Most notably, the writer's strike being over. So we're going to dive into that along with some other stuff. So let's get straight into it here. Now, like I said, loads to talk about when it comes to this week's weekly entertainment news video here. For those of you that are returning, you know the drill. Timestamps will be in the description down below. And for those of you that are brand new to the channel, watching this for the first time, we do these weekly entertainment news videos every single week. Friday, Saturday is when we post, talking about everything in terms of movie related news, TV related news, Lego and video games at times as well. So if you do like that kind of stuff along with other movie related stuff, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you are interested in anything, timestamps will be in the description down below. You can skip around, go ahead, go to whatever you find more interesting, no judgment here. But I want to start off straight away with a couple of trailers here because there were some interesting trailers that did get released this week. So the first trailer I want to talk about here is, if you aren't aware, I'm a massive Doctor Who fan. Watched it from the soft reboot revival back in 2005. Been watching it every year. Sadly, the last couple of years just, the less said the better, let's just put it that way. But they released a 60th anniversary trailer, which is coming out in November of this year. Still no release dates, but with the trailer itself giving a more in-depth look about it. David Tennant's performance is just chef's kiss. Man, that guy can act as a doctor. Catherine Tate, Donna Noble, with just some great one-liners in there. So overall, in terms of like the production value, it definitely looks a lot higher than like the previous shows. Definitely getting that Disney Plus money from what we're seeing here. Neil Patrick Harris as a villain, as a toy maker. Loving the look of him, loving what I'm seeing with him. And you just feel like the stakes are definitely going to be up. Rumors and theories have been circulating about Donna possibly dying. It's even like the doctor in the trailer goes that he doesn't even know if he can save her. So overall, when it comes to the trailer, I'm just loving what I'm seeing here. Russell T Davies coming back is just like a breath of fresh air. The amount of like things that we're getting, apparently there's going to be like a new show as well coming out too when it comes to Doctor Who. So just, it's a great time to be a Doctor Who fan as well. If you've never heard of Doctor Who, it's about a time traveler from Gallifrey going around saving the galaxy, saving mostly Earth. It's a really fun sci-fi show. If you like that kind of stuff, I think you'll definitely love Doctor Who. David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi all starring as the Doctor. So I highly recommend that show. And again, I'm really pumped for the 60th anniversary trailer in November. So if you are a fan of Doctor Who, if you have seen the trailer, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What your thoughts are about the trailer. How pumped are you for the 60th anniversary? Thoughts, theories, please let me know in the comment section down below. And for the next trailer, one that really did catch me off guard here is a trailer called Argylle. Now, if you're not aware about what this movie is, essentially it's about a super spy who is drawn into a treasure hunt that takes him around the world. The secret agent's troubled past could jeopardize the mission. It's that run-of-the-mill spy aspect. It's got aspects of like the bullet train, which we saw in the trailer. It's got that aspect of James Bond in there, even like the Knives Out, Glass Onion vibe to it as well, I'm feeling. But in terms of the plot, you might have heard this plot a million times when it comes to like spy movies. But what really stands out with this trailer is the cast in this movie. Because like, for example, you've got Henry Cavill rocking a brilliant hairstyle in this movie. You've got John Cena in there, you've got Dua Lipa, you've got Bryce Dallas Howard in there, Sam Rockwell, Samuel L. Jackson, Bryan Cranston, Rob Delaney in there. So the cast in itself is just one that you can really have fun with. The trailer again looks exciting, looks entertaining, looks like a really fun time of a movie, coming out in February of next year. Honestly, I never heard of this movie until watching the trailer, and I gotta say, like, I'm really surprised at how entertaining and interesting this looks. If you have seen the trailer, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Really curious to hear what your thoughts are about this movie. Will you be checking it out? What your thoughts are about the cast? I want to know everything. Let me know in the comment section down below. And for the final trailer that we are going to be talking about here is they finally released a trailer for Wish, the Disney movie that's coming out later on this year. Gotta say, not really on board with it, to be completely honest with you. I like the animation style. It's like this storybook, very early 90s animation with it, and so I'm liking what we're seeing when it comes to the animation style. But in terms of the plot, like, so you've got, if you're not aware, like this main villain who grants people their wishes. However, he's not granting everybody what their wishes are until this main character comes along. She wishes upon a star. really not as cheesy as it sounds, but she's got this star that she's got is now able to grant wishes. And so honestly, for me, I'm kind of with the villain of the movie. Like, there are some freaks out there that will wish for the most ridiculous, scary, freakish stuff. Like, if you think about it, if you let everybody in this whole world have, like, whether it's one wish or two wishes, there are some freaks out there that are going to be wishing for some really disturbing stuff. And you know I'm not wrong about that. So I'm kind of with the villain of this movie, who knows how to control these wishes, who know when to grant a wish and when not to grant a wish. And so with this character, the main hero of the story, going around granting wishes, it's probably going to end in a shit show, if we're being completely honest. So in terms of like the plot itself, I'm not really vibing with the plot. I feel like it could be a good movie. I want it to be a good movie because lately Disney's movies have been literally like a roller coaster, up and down. Like, you got Elemental, which I really enjoyed. Like, I'm surprised at how good Elemental was. But then, for example, you've got Luca, and then other movies that just have not hit, like Lightyear as well, for example. So I want this movie to be good. It's coming out in theaters, so they have got faith in the movie, but I'm waiting to see what they're going to do with it. If you have seen the trailer, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think this is one you'll be checking out? Do you think you'll give it a complete miss? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, now for the first news story we're going to be talking about here is we've actually got an update when it comes to Smile Part 2. We've actually got a release date here. So this is coming from the Variety, saying that Smile 2 is set for 2024, along with Mean Girls movie is going to be shifting from streaming to theaters. Yeah, I read that right. Mean Girls is going to be coming to theaters. So apparently, if you want to know about that first, then is that Paramount has announced a sequel to the hit horror movie Smile, as well as a platform shift for the upcoming Mean Girls musical movie. It's based off of the Mean Girls movie. It's going to be coming to theaters. Honestly, I've got no feelings towards it, but the more important one is the Smile. So the Paramount has officially confirmed a date for the sequel to Smile. It's going to be coming out in October 18th of 2024. So realistically, this time next year, we'll be getting a Smile 2 movie. Now, I'm being completely honest, I haven't fully seen the first movie yet. I've seen parts of it here and there. I just haven't had a chance to check it out, but I've heard such positive things about it. It's a very unique movie, and so one I really want to check out before this one comes out. But based on like all the reviews that I've seen, all the positivity coming from the movie, I'm really happy that it is getting a sequel. Curious to see what they're going to explore, because I'm just going based on the trailer, and with the trailer, with like the entity and everything like that happening in the movie, really curious to see what they're going to explore, whether it's going to be a prequel or whether it's going to be a continuation from the story. Again, I'm going just based off the trailer because I haven't seen the movie yet. But let me know your thoughts and theories in the comment section down below. Are you happy that they're going to be having a sequel? Will you be checking it out? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, now for the next news story, one I'm really curious to hear people's thoughts are about this, is we got confirmation earlier this week that The Office, the popular show here, is going to be having a reboot in the works. Now, when I first heard about this, my honest to God reaction was,
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And based on like the feedback I've seen from this news, everybody's got that same reaction to it. I've not seen the whole show. I've seen the first couple of seasons. I honestly can't remember the last time I actually watched the show, but it's been a while. And this is like the US version, so not the UK version. But I'll be completely honest with you, like, as great as that show is, I genuinely don't think a reboot is going to be needed, because we don't really know much in terms of like what's going to happen. All we know is that Greg Daniels will be returning as the showrunner. However, we don't know if the cast is going to be coming back, if it's going to be a complete separate Office, because I know there's been rumblings about the Office in Australia, so I don't know if it's going to be that, if it's going to just be a complete reboot of the US version, because I genuinely can't see the same cast coming back from this, and I don't think that it will work as a reboot. You've got the UK one, you've got the US one. I don't know if it will work again, and I really hate to say this, but like comedy has completely changed in this day and age compared to like when The Office was first airing. I just don't feel like some of the jokes will be the same, not in terms of like line for line, but like in terms of the tone of the joke, in terms of how people are going to get offended or not. So that's the kind of thing that you kind of have to worry about, especially if you're going to do a reboot like this. I mean, if they can capture the same magic, I'm all for it, but to be honest with you, if you're giving me the option to watch The Office, I'm just going to go for like the original one rather than a reboot one. So I really am curious to know people's thoughts about this. Will you be checking out if they do make a reboot, or will you be giving it a complete miss and just skip it altogether and just stick to the original? Let me know in the comment section down below. Speaking of reboots, the next news story here is we actually have a big update when it comes to like the Halloween franchise, Michael Myers and the whole Halloween franchise. We may be getting a movie and a TV series sooner than we're expecting. So this is coming from Bloody Disgusting here. First of all, announcing it earlier this week that the future of Halloween, Malika Card currently shopping to the right of the film and TV. So as we're going in the article here is saying that with Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, all wrapping up here in the Universal Blumhouse Studios as part of like a pact with Miramax. But it looks like the ball is now back in the court of the Card family. So what's next for the Halloween franchise, you might be wondering? Bloody Disgusting can exclusively report this week that Malika Card's Trancance International Film is actively shopping the rights to the Halloween franchise around Hollywood. From what we understand, there is a massive bidding war going on right now for television rights, with several parties interested in vying for the chance to bring Michael Myers back to life. We're hearing exclusively that A24 and Miramax are the two main parties currently in battle for TV rights, and that A24 is currently leading the charge, which honestly I find really interesting here. So if you're not really understanding what's going on here, is that sort of like two aspects. You've got Miramax and then you've got Malika Card, who wants to do sort of like a TV series. He's very interested in doing a TV series when it comes to like the Halloween franchise, the Halloween brand. Now, whether it's going to be Michael Myers TV series or whether it's going to be, theories have been speculating about the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch doing a TV series similar to like that, maybe a continuation of it or like a soft reboot for that one. We still don't know, but they want to do something different. And what's interesting is that with A24 leading the race, they're currently going to be doing a television series for Friday the 13th called Crystal Lake. So interesting if they're going to be winning the race when it comes to having Halloween TV series and a Friday the 13th TV series. That's going to be really interesting to know. However, when it comes to like the movie side of things here, doing a reboot, I'm kind of like on the fence when it comes to that, because with the movies, you're gonna do Michael Myers. Like, you're not gonna spend buckets loads of millions of dollars to get the franchise, to get the rights to the franchise, to then just do like Season of the Witch, do every year, do like a Halloween theme kind of movie. You want the man in the mask, the white mask, the famous knife. You're gonna do something based on that. Now, whether it's going to be Michael Myers and Laurie Strode or whether it's going to be something completely different, that's all up in the air. But I just find it really strange because like I was not expecting a Halloween movie for like another 10 years at least, especially after Halloween Ends. And shameless plug, I've done a playlist of all the Halloween movies, including Halloween 2018 Kills and Ends. I'll post that on the channel around up here, so you can go check out my thoughts on those movies along with the rest of the movies in the franchise. But if I'm having to pick with A24 leading it, I'm kind of a little bit more excited when it comes to that, because with them doing a Crystal Lake show, based on what we've heard so far from that, it looks like it's going to be a really fun, entertaining watch. So with them having that kind of rights to do a TV series, I'm really curious to know what they will be doing when it comes to Halloween. But we also get from like a reliable scooper here, One Take News, sort of like chiming in here. They have actually reported that Paramount is extremely interested in the property and is prepared to outbid whoever stands in their way. Right now there is no direct competitor for Paramount other than A24, and with Paramount they are vying for the rights to be the horror studio in Hollywood, having released A Quiet Place Part 1 and 2, Scream, Smile, Scream 6, and Smile 2, as we just mentioned earlier on in this show. But as we continue here, like sources have told One Take News that one of, if not the top priority for the franchise producer Malika Card was a television show set in the same universe as Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which we've mentioned here. The series would be 6 episodes long. While unconfirmed, we're told that at the time we heard this news first, the series would likely not be associated with Blumhouse. So as we previously reported, like you've got Nightmare on Elm Street reboot bidding war going on, you've got a Friday the 13th series coming in, you've got Halloween now possibly being rebooted, you've got Chucky Season 3 going to be coming out next week. So like all these classic like slashers that I grew up with, along with like Ghostface 2, like Scream, like just so many. Like, it's a great time to be a horror fan, especially when you're a fan of like those 80s and 90s slasher movies. We'll definitely be keeping an eye out on this news to see what's going to happen, who's going to win the rights, what they're going to be doing with the franchise. So again, subscribe so that you're not going to miss out on those updates. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Will you be checking it out? Will you be giving this a complete miss? Who do you think is going to actually win the bidding war? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, now before we get on to the writer's strike, the last news story I do want to talk about here is we've got a big update when it comes to like James Gunn and the DCU future here. So James Gunn came out and actually just gave some clarity in terms of like the DCU and what's canon and what's not canon. So first of all, he confirmed here that nothing is canon until Creature Commandos next year, a sort of aperitif to the DCU, and I've butchered that word, and then a deeper dive into the universe with Superman Legacy after that. It is a very human drive to want to understand everything all the time, but I think it's okay to be confused on what's happening in the DCU since no one has seen anything from the DCU yet. And yes, some actors will be playing characters they've played in other stories, and some plot points might be consistent with plot points from the dozens of films, shows and animated projects that have come in the DC in the past, but nothing is canon until Creature Commandos and Legacy. And then he goes and confirms that Zolo Majorana, and I apologize if I've butchered that name, Viola Davis and John Cena are the actors that are going to be continuing in the DCU, along with the Vigilante from the Peacemaker show. Now, I feel like everybody's just going to be confused when this whole reboot or when everything's canon, because you've got Blue Beetle confirmed that he's going to be returning, but then the Blue Beetle movie is not canon to the new DCEU. Similar with like Peacemaker's show is not going to be canon. The events might take place but might not take place. So it's just a lot of confusion going on when it comes to like the DCU. Honestly, I'm glad we're going to be seeing Blue Beetle. I'm glad we're going to be seeing Peacemaker. Like, I really enjoyed both the movie and the show, but I just feel like it's just more confusing than ever when it comes to like the DC universe. Everybody's just wants to know like what's going on, and like when it does happen, people that haven't seen the Blue Beetle movie, people that haven't seen the Peacemaker show, just are going to be confused. Like, I have faith in James Gunn, and I'm really excited to see what the DC is going to be looking like in the future with like Superman Legacy and then upcoming projects. But I just feel like they just needed to do a whole reboot, because like, for example, Henry Cavill's not coming back, Ben Affleck's not coming back. We don't know what the situation is with Ezra Miller and Gal Gadot, but then you've got Blue Beetle, you've got Peacemaker. Like, it's just honestly like a very confusing time to be a DC fan right now. Everything's up in the air. So I'm curious to know your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts about James Gunn's comment about like the canon and the not canon? What are your thoughts about these characters staying in the DCU? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Okay, now for the final news story here, and this is going to be cut up in sections. We've got, and it was announced earlier this week, a big news that the writer's strike is officially over. Now, just to clarify, the SAG-AFTRA strike, like the actor's strike, is still ongoing at this moment in time, but the writer's strike is officially over. They've got what they were asking for. So it was a very interesting turn of events. Like, over the weekend, like this past Saturday and Sunday, we were getting news reports that the AMPT and the WGA were meeting, and they spent 8 hours, like I mentioned in last week's Weekly Entertainment News video, spending 8 hours discussing everything. Then they go and say that they're going to meet the next day. Then they go and meet the next day. So everything was like kind of on the fence. And even like earlier this week, the AMTP, the studios, and it's coming like from the Hollywood Reporter earlier on this week, go and say, so studios have presented their best and final offer to the Writers Guild, and their parties are very close to reaching a compromise as per the studio side sources. And so like everybody's just getting nervous, not knowing what's going to happen. Are they going to accept it? What is the best and final offer? If they don't accept it, does that mean they're not going to continue the negotiations? But then earlier this week, they got confirmation that the WGA and the AMPT reached an agreement. They confirmed that the 145 day of striking was officially over. So like the WGA goes here on September 24th, we've reached a tentative agreement on the new 2023 MBA, which is to say all agreements in principle on all deal points subject to drafting final contract languages. Again, coming from the Hollywood Reporter, Writers Guild reaches a tentative agreement with the studios and the streamers in a significant development that could bring an end to an historic writer's strike The Union and the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers announced a provisional deal on Sunday, and the WGA confirming, "We can say with great pride that this deal is exceptional, with meaningful gains and protection for writers in every sector of membership." And you're probably wondering, so like, what did they agree on? What did the studios give in? So like, what's going to happen here? So we got here, so the writers have secured the following protection against the AI. So AI can't write or rewrite literary material, and AI generated material will not be considered source material. A writer can choose to use AI, but the studio can't require the writers to use AI software. And studios must disclose to writers if any materials given to them have been generated by AI or incorporated AI generated material. The WGA reserves the right to assert the exploitation of writers' materials to train AI in the prohibiting of by the agreement or other law, which basically just means that what they were looking for. So like, studios can't use AI to generate scripts and stuff like that. The writers can choose if they want to use the AI or not, and they're not forced to use AI to write scripts, which is a really great news. So like, we don't have to worry about like AI written stuff. And also what was interesting too is that in terms of like streaming residuals and that kind of stuff here, it confirms that studios must provide the WGA details of the show's viewership, including total number of hours streamed worldwide. Foreign residuals are now based on the streaming service numbers of foreign subscribers at a 70% increase, which honestly I find really interesting, is that they managed to get the studios to agree in terms of like how many hours have been streamed in terms of certain shows and that kind of stuff. Now, the WGA are going to be able to like disclose it to people, but obviously it's not going to be released to the public, but there's going to be somebody out there that's going to release that information, that's going to be leaking the information, so we will get our hands on it most likely. But I find that crazy that they were able to agree with that, and like, honestly, huge congratulations to everybody in the WGA that were able to signify and secure this deal, getting what they fully deserved, getting the fair pay, getting the streaming situation sorted out, getting the AI situation sorted out, which honestly is just like great news for everybody all round now that the writer's strike is over. Again, the SAG-AFTRA strike is still ongoing at this moment in time as we're recording, but we still don't know what's going to happen with that. The studios are set to meet on Monday. My guess is that they're going to try to resolve this as soon as possible now that they've sorted out the whole writer strike. They're going to try and resolve the actor strike too, so that they can get the fair compensation that they deserve. So most likely that will be resolved soon, so that everything can get back in terms of like Hollywood. But now that the writer strike is over, what does this mean? Well, each like streaming platform, like for example HBO, Craig Mason has confirmed that they are going to be immediately working on season 2 of The Last of Us as like a priority. The White Lotus is also going to be as a priority working on that. When it comes to Netflix, Stranger Things is a priority they're immediately going to be working on when it comes to like writing and finishing up the script here. Wednesday season 2 is also one that they're going to be fast tracking as well. In terms of like Disney Plus MCU side of things here, Deadpool, they're going to be able to work on the script, along with Daredevil, they're now going to start fixing the script. So again, this just means that the scripts can be worked on, but obviously with the actors still on strike, they're not going to be able to like film anything. So like for example, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds can't really continue filming when it comes to Deadpool 3. But because interestingly enough here, so like for example, James Gunn's Superman Legacy, they've completed the script, so they'll be able to like work on production back in spring if they can resolve like the deal with the actors. Another example is that the live action Minecraft movie with Jason Momoa, the script is complete, but the movie can begin filming once the actor strike and everything is sorted out as well. In terms of like Hollywood movies as well, like you've got Fast X Part 2, they can start working on the script now. Like a lot of things that they can now focus on. Like this is coming from the Variety here saying, back to work, studios eye post-strike plans to prioritize production on Stranger Things, Euphoria, House of Dragons and more. Now that the writer's strike is over, Hollywood studios are gearing up to get production rolling again. Once the other half of this year's dual strike, the ongoing SAG-AFTRA walkout, is finally settled. From Star Trek to Superman Legacy to Abbott Elementary to Wednesday, every studio, network and streamer has priority film and TV production that they hope to fast track back into development or production. So like for example, Matt Reeves is going to be diving into like the Gotham underworld with the Batman sequel. That's what everybody's going to be working on right now. And while they're waiting on the SAG-AFTRA strike, so you've got like movies such as Gladiator, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2, Deadpool 3, Beetlejuice 2, like all these movies currently are just waiting on the actor strike, so that can all get resolved, which like I said, they're going to be meeting on Monday, so they'll most likely get resolved. So everything is sort of like now on track to start moving again, all these movies being delayed to 2024. So it looks like next year and 2024, 2025 is going to be a real jam-packed year of movies, shows, so like everything is back on track, which honestly, I'm just so pumped about. Like I said, last week was real slim pickings, so now everything's get back on track. We could finally get some updates in terms of movie news, TV news. I can present to all of you guys here, so I'm really pumped about that, and just happy that no more movies are going to be delayed. Biggest one was Dune Part 2, really pumped about, delayed. But again, massive congratulations to everybody from the WGA side of things here. Everything's back on track. Writer strike is over for now. We'll probably get an update. I'll probably talk about it in the next week's weekly entertainment news video when it comes to the actor strike, what's going to happen with that. So definitely make sure that you're subscribed so that you're not missing out on that. But let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. What you're most excited for now that the writer strike is over? What are you hoping to see now? So let me know all of that in the comment section down below. But that about wraps it up for this week's weekly entertainment news video. Again, lots to dive into, lots that we discussed here. So again, I want to know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. But before I let you go, I want to do a couple of shameless plugs here, because we've done all the reviews for Saw movies. So I'll post a playlist here. You can go check out all those reviews, and keep an eye out on the channel because Saw Extra review will be coming out in the next couple of days, and it's going to be a big tier ranking video for all the Saw movies. So subscribe so you're not missing out on that. And also, if you are on Twitter, I have got an account, link is in the description down below. You can go ahead, follow me there, so that way you know whenever I do post or any like exciting news will be posted around there. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for listening. This is YK Reviews. Peace.